There was no intent to collide with her. Because of that lack of intent, she was unable to sense it as a soul cultivator, thus resulting in the two of them falling to the ground. All Bai Yunfei could feel at that one moment was a huge headache. All sorts of information was flowing through his head non-stop, and even now, he wasn't even sure where he was. Suddenly, Bai Yunfei felt his body collide into something before the sensation of falling down came rushing up to him. After that, he could feel himself falling onto something soft and a delicate fragrance trickling into his nose. It wasn't sure whether it was the collision, the fall, the landing, or the fragrance that snapped Bai Yunfei back to awareness, but whatever it was, it allowed him to regain control of his body. Although he wasn't quite back to full awareness just yet. Shaking his head, Bai Yunfei stood back up to his feet before finally being aware of the situation. A blue-robed young woman sat in front of him on the ground, stupefied. Her delicate face was tilted upwards towards him, but not a single word came out from her mouth. Miss, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to run into you. Are you alright? Connecting the dots, Bai Yunfei realized that he had to have run into her and scrambled to apologize. Stooping his back to reach out and pull at her pale white wrist, Bai Yunfei helped her to her feet with a very natural sequence of motion. It was then that Bai Yunfei noticed the Tang Yulu discarded to the ground. Embarrassed, Bai Yunfei scratched his head sheepishly and looked left and right, only to catch sight of the Tang Yulu vendor to the side. For the sake of pleasing Liu Meng, Zhang Yang had ordered the vendor to accompany them. Running on over, Bai Yunfei fished out a single copper coin and handed to the vendor before coming back with a Tang Yulu. Miss, here's a Tang Yulu as compensation. I hope that you'll forgive me, I really did. Bang. Before Bai Yunfei could even finish speaking, something powerful struck at his left waist. There was a flash of pain, and then Bai Yunfei was flung away to the side of the street. The right leg of Zhang Yang slowly fell back to stand down on the ground. His entire body was shaking with indignation, and his face was malevolent in expression, marking a stark contrast with the easygoing young nobleman he was before. Glaring at Bai Yunfei, Zhang Yang's eyes had a very distinct aura of killing intent to them. You lowly plebeian! How dare you mistreat my Menga! I'll have you put to death. Chapter 2, Equipment Upgrade Technique. Enduring the pain in his waist, Bai Yunfei managed to slowly rise back up to his feet, only to stare in stupefaction at the sinister-looking youth in front of him. How could I do such a thing like this? It felt as if my action